Hello YouTube, it's your girl Waikithia and I am back with another very short YouTube video. This is a beginner friendly eyebrow routine. I do have tattoo eyebrows, so I do have permanent makeup, so it makes it a little bit easier for me, but this routine is super easy. The great thing about getting your eyebrows permanently done, you don't have to do much to them. You don't have to do much to them literally ever. I'm done. I am done. Also want to make sure that, your lips are moisturized while you're doing your makeup, while you're starting your makeup, because who wants crusty lips, right? So I go right in to conceal with my LA Girl Pro Concealer and my Maybelline Fit Me in the shades 50 and 60. I like to use something a little cheaper on my eyelids because, it's just the concealer that I use to, conceal my brows. We don't need anything fancy for that. I go right in under my eyebrows very carefully to clean it and to just follow the shape that I already have. Again, my eyebrows are tattooed, so I just go in to darken them up and then I follow the shape that's already there to conceal. I like to go on with the shade Toast from the LA Girl Concealer because it matches my skin tone. But I do the same thing on each eye, so I conceal them both with the shape that's already there. I do have a preference for a thicker brow. Whatever your preference is, make sure you stick to it, baby, and you rock it. I always use a flat brush. This is a Real Techniques little fluffy brush. I go in on top of the concealer to just buff out the lines that form inside of the eyelid once the concealer sits for a little bit. So you want to buff that out before you go in with a setting powder to set the concealer in place before you put your eyeshadow or anything you want on top of it. So you're going to go in, brush it out, make sure it looks good to your liking, and voila. That's all you need. It's not much. You just go back and forth in. Then I do conceal the top of my brow. I do not like a halo eyebrow, so I use the same shade on top, which is a brown that closely matches my skin color. I do the same thing on both sides. I just conceal the shape that I already have. And again, I do like a thicker brow. If you like a thinner brow, just make sure that you, cut yours down lower. And then I buff in the rest of the concealer that's on my face to make sure that I don't have any harsh lines once I go in with my foundation. And I just buff that out, buff it out. And that's about it. I'm done with this routine. I'll go in, like I said, with the Fit Me in the shade brown to just make sure that I set before I put eyeshadow on top. And usually my preference is a bronzer, but I will show that in another video. But I just set that to make sure it don't move and it don't smudge. And doing your brows and concealing your brows is as simple as that. It does not have to be this big, long, drawn out, hard process. Now, I do understand that my brows are permanent, so I have a little less work to do, but this is something you can definitely work on and perfect if you just take the time. I hope you enjoyed this short video. Let me know in the comments what else you would like to see. Bye.